Should we choose nuclear energy above renewable sources? This is the question I am going to ask myself during the presentation. First of all, why this question? Well, it is a very active one. It is openly discussed, especially after the Fukushima disaster. This really aroused my interest for this subject. Another reason for choosing this subject is that everyone has a certain opinion about this, well-founded or not. After the Fukushima disaster, a lot of people turned against nuclear energy, without even having any knowledge whatsoever about this subject. I wanted to give myself a clear and well-founded opinion about this subject, using arguments for and against. The last reason is my own lack of knowledge about nuclear energy. I simply wanted to know a bit more about it. Arguments in favor. The first argument is that the entire amount of energy produced by one person using nuclear energy their entire life is enough to fill up a Coke can, and there are very low CO2 emissions. This is a very strong argument given by Stewart Brand, a climatologist in favor of nuclear energy. The reason for it being so strong is that the nuclear waste is an enormous problem that people have with nuclear energy. He says that this Coke can will also be stored very safely in dry cask storages back in the countryside where they don't bother anyone. The greenhouse gases that nuclear energy produces is also a lot lower than renewables such as wind, solar, etc. This makes it a very strong argument. It is credible, valid, and a very reliable one, since it has all been proven by scientific research, and Stewart Brand is a well-respected man within this branch. Second argument, nuclear warheads are being converted into electricity at this very moment. This is a real thing happening right now. 10% of US electricity supply comes from decommissioned warheads. And this is only from the Russian stockpile, not yet the American. If one is talking about being green with energy, this is as green as it can get. Using old weapons in order to generate electricity is a very good eco-friendly project. By using this method, we can recycle nuclear material, so we don't have to use new material. I therefore think this is a very strong argument because it's credible as well as reliable. It is not very valid since the warheads will one day run out, and then this argument won't last to support nuclear energy. This argument was, by the way, also given by Stewart Brand. A lot of electricity can be generated from one plant. There are about 436 nuclear power reactors in the world, providing about 15% of the total amount of the world's electricity. Renewables only provide about 5% of the total amount of electricity, and there are about 650,000 wind turbines in the entire world. No need to say that the efficiency of the nuclear power plants is a lot higher than that of wind or other renewables. These figures give a strong backup for this argument, and that's why I think this is a very strong one. It is credible as well as reliable, because the figures support the argument, and they also, next argument, a new generation of small reactors are being built at this very moment. These small reactors also are usually no bigger than a house and can be put into the ground where nobody will see them. The smallest are good enough to power up to 20,000 homes. I think it is a good argument because the lack of space we have nowadays in the world, it would be very handy to have small yet efficient reactors. Because of this, it is a good and well-founded argument, because these reactors are being built and used at this very moment. This was, by the way, also an argument given by Stewart Brand. Now, these are two of the small nuclear power plants. Arguments against. Well, it takes up to 20 years to build a nuclear power plant from planning to operation. In a fast-growing population like the one we have now, we need to make our energy production rise fast. 20 years to build up a new nuclear power plant is a lot of time, which we don't have. Wind turbines only need around 4 years to be put up. This also costs a lot less than the project for nuclear power plants. The argument is credible and reliable. It has a perfectly logical explanation and is supported by facts. Second argument against: uranium, the energy source for nuclear energy, is estimated to last for about 30 to 60 years. This is not actually a proven fact. Some studies say that it will only last for 50 years, whereas other studies claim that it will continue to last for 250 years or more. It is therefore a very weak argument and unreliable. Also, the nuclear energy can be get from other sources such as plutonium. Nuclear power plants and waste can be potential targets for terrorists. This is not a proven fact either. In the terrorist point of view, everything is a potential target, from subways to nuclear facilities. Not a single study was made to prove that this is so. There is no evidence to support this argument, only assumptions people make. Because of this, it is a very weak, unreliable and unvalid argument. Then, my conclusion. Yes, based upon these arguments given, I think we should. Nuclear is a green, safe and efficient way of producing energy, and the benefits surpass the downsides. I don't think that the renewables are bad, by the way. Renewables are our future, but in my opinion nuclear energy is a better source of energy and it will remain so in the future. And this was my presentation. I hope you like it. And yeah.